Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to E-Junkie TV. And just in case you've forgotten, I am Black King. We just got to see one of the most beautiful endings to a story. In my opinion, the best way to have brought this story to an end. And I am personally glad that the ending was not changed from how the manga ended, Like, I really love that. So, I'm just going to be saying my humble thoughts on the series and the things that I loved about it, or things that really stuck to me, or things that really stood out to me while I was following the story. Before we get into everything that we have to say today, or everything I have to say today, first off, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. It is the best way you could support a growing channel, and the best way to know that we are doing a good job that you guys love. So please subscribe to the channel and give this video a like. So let's get into it. First things first, I love how this story portrays real life and real life decisions without making the characters look flawless, which of course might have made the characters look very inhuman, or make them look not so human, not so alive, or just two-dimensional. The characters in Attack on Titan, however, are actually very flawed. They have a lot of flaws to the point where you might say that they are a bit too flawed, but that in turn makes them very much alive. They make the characters alive, make them seem very human, and of course it makes them very relatable to us, the audience, and helps us to build a sense of camaraderie with them. Secondly, I love the route Ishiyama took with telling us the story. He brought out the height of hypocrisy that human beings have ever shown in history. Like, almost everyone that was involved with Attack on Titan at some point, or almost everyone that watched Attack on Titan at some point, became a hypocrite while watching the anime. Like, Ishiyama told us the story from Paradise's point of view before showing us everything that had happened, or that was happening in the verse. He made us fall in love with these characters. He made us relate with the people in that particular region of the story. He made us understand their life, their traumas, their experiences, and so on. The writer Ishiyama took his time to let us become part of Paradise ourselves before showing us the full story, and this in turn brought out the hypocrisy in people. As like, usually fans would want to see the whole picture or the whole story before making a judgment on a particular thing that is happening in the story, but in this case that was not what happened. Since most of the fans have subconsciously become a part of Paradise themselves, most of the fans tend to make decisions from the point of view of only the people from Paradise, not considering that Paradise or the Malians are not the only people that exist in that verse, and they're not the only people that were affected by Eren's decision. We, the fans of the story, or the watchers of the story, became like the people in the story itself. The story itself was trying to teach us about conflict and how it never ends, and how human beings will always choose chaos and fight with each other, and how hard it is to achieve peace. This was shown to us from like the political perspective, from the philosophical perspective of things, and like how all these things play out in the verse. And still, a lot of people did not get to understand what this story was trying to say, or maybe they were intentionally just ignoring it, saying that Eren was right, or that the rumbling was good, or that he did nothing wrong, will only just push the idea that humans will always choose chaos when it comes to trying to resolve things like this. Like, even Eren doesn't think what he did was good or right, neither does he think that it was the only way. This was just the best thing he could come up with, as he himself also calls himself an idiot with power. Because, like, come on, killing 80% of the world is the best thing you could come up with for how to generate peace. I'm not saying I can do better though, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, I really understand why he would have called himself, or why he called himself, an idiot with power. And even the story itself is not trying to justify what he did as right or good. It is just us, the viewers, and this is mainly from the fact that we have become hypocritical from having only seen things from the paradise point of view. And this only just reminds me of something that Madara said in Naruto, where he was trying to point something like this out when he said the selfish intent to preserve peace creates war. So like, I really love how Ishiyama portrayed the story, making us into the very thing that we hated in this series. And the last thing I have to say in relations to my goodbye or my views on the Attack on Titan as a series would be in relations to Eren. So like, I pity and hate Eren. Like, the pity is drawn from the fact that he obviously was not built to perfectly handle the responsibility that came with having such power. I mean, like, he was still actually very young and he was depressed, he was angry, confused, and totally mentally unstable. Like, he was just unstable. And by our standards, I don't think like most people would be able to think up or create a better plan or end game like he did. Yeah, he really tried his best, and I give him props for that. In as much as he did try his best though, like, his plan really sucked. I mean, for someone who had excess time to affect the past and see the results in the future, like, saying he was an idiot with power would be an understatement, like a large understatement. Like, who in their right mind would cause themselves so much trauma just to be vengeful and lead himself to the same miserable spot that he was in? I mean, the rage, among many other things, is one of the reasons why his judgment was so distorted and why he could only think of this as the best plan that he could create. Maybe he was in a better state of mind, or if something like, if he was a little bit more critical in his thinking, or maybe more calm in his thinking, maybe he would have been able to create a better plan. But like, trying to create peace while being so vengeful and being so depressed, confused, or just outrightly unstable isn't actually the best thing to do. Like, trying to make yourself create peace and then traumatizing yourself is not exactly the best way to go about creating peace. And the part that even annoyed me most is the fact that the destruction that he caused the entire world, the 80% killing, the whole genocide and all of that, was just Eren lashing out at the world. It was mainly just Eren lashing out at the world. It's not because of some grand plan. It was not because of that. It was mainly because of he was just disappointed at the world. He was angry at the world. That was basically just it. And this just goes further to solidify what he said, that he was an idiot with power. But in the end, I am glad that he was able to create the peace that he wanted to create for his loved ones, even though he did it indirectly and very much recklessly. Again, these are just my personal thoughts and opinions on the story. You can tell me your own thoughts and your own opinions while you were watching the anime, or you think about the anime as a whole, in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, share to as many friends as you can, and get them to subscribe to the channel. Again, like I have said before, it is the best way you can support a growing channel and become part of this community. With that said, I'll see you guys next time. Remember, stay weird.